just need to I thought me typing on my computer would also be a nice trigger. So we'll see how much I know. I think I would. I don't think I will know that much, especially the history. And I always feel that I need to do a disclaimer because I'm just checking these facts on random websites. So I feel like it's a big chance that some of these are wrong. Because I don't have like a textbook or anything. And I could check these facts, but I think that would take a lot of time, and I will still be unsure if it actually was correct. So, I guess the only thing that I know historically is like the Korean War, and that's from school. So I feel like I don't remember as much. I just know it was like someone around 1953 or something. But I will be learning as well. So, first, some key facts about South Korea. Oh, maybe I should. Or I thought that was. I thought that was a given that it's about South Korea, so I won't go in, or maybe somewhat, but mainly about South Korea because obviously we have more information about South Korea than North Korea, but maybe I could do a part 2 about North Korea. So, key facts about South Korea. The population is 51,667,000 people in population. And the official language is Korean. Currency is South Korean won. And capital is Seoul. The main religion is Buddhism and Christianity. And their alphabet is Hangul. Hangul. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but Hangul. Okay, so the first fact is Korea is an extremely safe place to live with high levels of public safety. So, 82% of people saying they feel safe walking alone at night, which is higher than the OECD average of 74%. I'm actually surprised that the OECD average is 74% because I feel like that is very safe, and you feel safe walking at night. So, violent crime and theft in South Korea are uncommon, and violent weapons are heavily restricted under Korean law. In 2023, the Seoul metropolitan government invested 51.2 billion Korean won in AI-enhanced CCTVs installed in public areas. Additionally, every public restroom stall in South Korea has an emergency call button, which directly connects to the 112 emergency service when pressed. With the CCTVs everywhere, there is a general consensus on respecting people's personal property. For example, your laptop can be left unattended and used to reserve a spot in a cafe and no one will touch it. I am so amazed by that. I have also seen people leave their laptops at cafes, and I don't understand how that works because I would still be scared of leaving my laptop. But I guess the CCTVs everywhere would help with that. Okay, so the third fact is, no, the second, is that Koreans have high beauty standards. I don't think anyone is shocked by that one, at least not me, because if you watch a lot of K-dramas and if you are on the internet a lot, I think you have probably seen that, yeah, South Korea have a high beauty standard. Okay, so in South Korea, outer beauty is just as important as inner beauty. For those not blessed with flawless skin, regular visits to a dermatology clinic are a must to achieve the ideal Korean glass skin, clear without visible redness or flaws, and free from blemishes. I feel like that is really, really crazy. that it's basically so important to fit into this. It's like a really high glass skin, clear without visible redness. That is definitely one downside to Korean. I feel like every person struggles with skin issues, so for this to be so important in Korea is really crazy. Because some skin issues you literally can't do anything about if you're not like, I don't know, changing skin or something in a dermatology office. It's not something you can influence that easily, so I feel like it's really, I don't know, crazy to have this as such an important beauty standard. So Olive Young stores a states as the world's highest plastic surgeries performed per capita worldwide, surpassing Western countries. Double eyelid cosmetic surgery is often given as a graduation gift to high school students. I actually heard this, and I was shocked when I heard this. And I also feel like double eyelids, I wouldn't even consider that as, I don't know, like double eyelids wouldn't matter to me. I don't understand why it's such a part of the beauty standard. So students can discover K-beauty skincare trends and experience how aesthetics and self-care form part of daily life. It says. Okay. The third fact is that 1 in 3 Koreans live alone. In 2023, single-person households in South Korea increased to 7.5 million, around 34.5% of all households. These are mostly young people in their 20s and 30s, as well as seniors in their 60s and 70s. Actually, that is not surprising because I've also seen this in Japan. I saw a documentary about this, that a lot of people live alone and also like are lonely. So I think and I also think that people living alone are increasing in other countries as well. But it's sad, I feel like, that so many people live alone. Since 2010, the slang term honnyok, combining the words solo, which is hanya, and people yok, has described South Koreans who live alone, embracing independence. Honyoks share their solo dining, honbap, leisure activities, honno, and travels, honheng, I don't know if I pronounced that, on social media. Travel companies like Booking.com and Interpark now cater to this demographic, offering vacation packages for solo travelers and or Honsens, I don't know, a blend of solo and vacants or vacation. Vacants, okay, so it's onkens. Okay. I also feel like it's, especially in like big cities like Seoul, and also if we're talking about Japan, like Tokyo, it would be really difficult for that many people to live alone because there is only so much space in a city, and also like really populated cities, like the big ones. So I feel like that is also a con with living alone. Like I feel like they would have to live really small space, and then I think also maybe it's more expensive because the city, like it's private space. I don't know. Okay, so another fact is that you do not need to tip in South Korea. In Korea, tipping is not required in restaurants, hotels, and taxis. Tipping is not customary and may be considered rude and disrespectful. Yes, I'm not, or maybe I'm a little bit surprised that it's South Korea, because in my country you don't tip either, like in America. Okay, so another fact is that Korean delivery culture dates back to the Joseon period, which was 1319 until 1910. Joseon period. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but the tradition of food delivery in Korea traces its roots back to the Joseon period, when food delivery services were used by nobility and royalty. Wow, that has to be one of the countries who have used food delivery longest. Today, over 70% of South Koreans use mobile food delivery service apps like Yogiyo, Kopang Eats, and Paedal Minyok, continuing a long-standing tradition in the country. The earliest Korean delivery food on record is naengmyeon, cold buckwheat noodles in soup, in July 1768. Oh, that's impressive. Another fact is Koreans' fruits are expensive. Fruit prices, including apples and pears, reached record highs, with apples costing 600 to 10,000. No, I said wrong. 6,000 to 10,000 Korean won per apple. That's as high as $7 per apple. Oh my god. According to South Korea's Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, this increase has led to a drop in fruit consumption in South Korea. For South Koreans, the South Korean government data shows a 19% decline from 67.9 kilograms of fruit consumption per person in 2007 to 55 kilograms in 2022. Despite the high prices, packaged fruit, especially luxury varieties like Shine Muscat grapes, are given as gifts in Korea during the holidays. Okay, that is crazy. But I feel like shouldn't all food then be increasing? Because I have a hard time believing that like the cost of meat and other foods would remain more stable. I don't know. There are blue sponges on many Korean cars. You will often see small blue blocks on the side of Korean car doors. These blue block sponges are remnants of cars being shipped from the manufacturer's factory and are used to protect the cars during transit. Most Koreans prefer to keep them on their car doors to prevent future scratches or dents. Also, blue sponges on cars signify that the car is new, which is another reason why people like to keep them on. That is actually funny. Okay. The best comes from the proximity to Seoul Family Court, which was where couples sought divorces until 1995. The old courthouse has been renovated into the Seoul Museum of Art, but couples still remain wary. Okay. Another fact is it's taboo to write a Korean's name in red ink. In South Korea, writing a person's name in red ink is symbolic of death. Traditionally, red ink was used on family registers or official documents for names of the deceased. Despite its superstitious origins, it remains inappropriate to use red ink to write a person's name, especially when the person is still alive. Interesting. Another fact is avoid the number 4 in South Korea. The Korean word for 4 is pronounced sa, which is also the pronunciation for the hanja character for death. The number 4 is considered an unlucky number given the sonic similarity to misfortune and death. Some buildings skip the 4th floor and use the letter F instead for house numbers with multiple 4s. Property values are much lower. Okay. Next time you are in an elevator and there is no 4, press F instead. Okay, that is really interesting. But I've also heard, I've heard about, like, for example, 13 is an unlucky number in many countries, and that they also avoid that number in like house numbers and stuff. I don't know. Okay, people celebrate Pepperu Day, South Korea's national snack holiday. Pepperu Day is an annual holiday in South Korea celebrated on November 11th because 11/11 looks like a long, thin pepper sticks. This day is dedicated to giving pepper to friends, family, and loved ones. Since 1997, Lotte Corporation, the manufacturer of pepper in South Korea, has marketed the holiday, originally milk chocolate-covered cookie sticks. These treats now come in many flavors. Pepper is considered a national snack that generates sales of 100 billion won every year. Snacks are a big deal in Korea. I think that is pocky in other countries. I'm pretty sure. Survive Korean winters with electric heating mats. To cope with South Korea's cold winter, most Koreans use electric heating mats. Most Korean homes are equipped with an ondol or floor heating system, but it can be expensive to keep it turned on all day. Many Koreans choose instead to buy an electric heating mat and place it where they spend most 1,700 Korean won, and fans and collectors have been scrambling to buy everything in stock. With high demand and limited supply, stickers are being traded on online marketplaces in South Korea. Rare stickers such as the Mute sticker sell for around 40,000 Korean won, while popular characters such as Pikachu are traded around 5,000 to 8,000 won. Pokemon in Korean follows the original Japanese name that sounds like pocket monster. Pokemon is a shortened romanization of the original name that became the norm as it gained popularity abroad. And this, I think, will be the last fact, which is that North Korea and South Korea have been divided for more than 70 years, separated by the 160-mile long and 2.5-mile wide demilitarized zone. The Korean War ended in 1953 stalemate. Oh, so I did mention 1953. So that was when it ended. So I was right about that. Both governments' constitutions of North Korea and South Korea claim sovereignty over the whole Korean peninsula, though a truce to end hostilities was signed in 1953. An official peace treaty was never agreed to, and the two Koreas are still officially at war. That I've heard about, which is I'm like fascinated every time I'm reminded that officially Korea is, or North and South Korea are still at war, which is really crazy to think about. That, yeah. I guess also that's why it's so important to do military service in South Korea. They take that very seriously, and I guess it is logical if you're still officially at war with another country. I actually need to check when the Korean War began, because if I'm not wrong, I feel like it was 1950. Yes, it was. So, well, this will be the last part, but the Korean War was fought from June 25th, 1950 to July 27th, 1953. It pitted North Korea, backed by China and the Soviet Union, against South Korea, supported by the United Nations, led by the United States. The conflict ended in a stalemate, with an armistice, leaving the peninsula divided. And casualties estimated at over 3 million total deaths, with a very high proportion of civilian casualties. That is really crazy. And so the see a heavily guarded, demilitarized zone was created near the 38 parallel as a buffer zone. And as I said before, no peace treaty, so technically North Korea and South Korea remain in a state of conflict because no formal peace treaty was ever signed. Okay, that will be everything, because I feel like if I go more into the Korean War, which I'm really interested in, I think I will never stop. But I can make another video only on the Korean War because I'm really interested in the Korean War. I don't know why, but in school my favorite topics was history.